Welcome to our Google Hangout, DECA, an Insider's Guide. I'm Chris Young, the High School Division Director, and we are going to be visiting with you today about the upcoming plans for DECA's International Career Development Conference in Anaheim, California in April. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to visit www.deca.org/events/ICDC for all the latest information, including a program and agenda. You can also find a lot of information about DECA and our ICDC on decadirect.org. We have a panel of DECA staff members today who are going to share plans and progress for the ICDC conference next month. So we'll start with Janelle Scudder, our communications assistant, to talk about some really cool new developments in social media and how we can connect at the conference. So Janelle, take it away.
Hi guys, this is Janelle. Like Chris said, I'm the social media communications assistant here at DECA. So just to start off first, the DECA app will be available soon, we promise. A lot of people have been tweeting us asking when it'll be ready to download, but we would say in the next 2 to 3 weeks it should definitely be out. You guys can download it, or if you've already downloaded it, you'll be able to upgrade the version that you have. It's got a lot of the same features as last year. You can view your schedule by day or by track, and you can also save the events personally for you so that you have your own schedule. The touch notifications will also be available so that you can get up-to-the-minute updates and things like that sent to your phone. We've also included the click scavenger hunt again, but we've kind of revamped the clues and things so that they're all DECA related, and you'll be able to go through the convention center, Anaheim, Disney, and really connect with all the other DECA members there. So we're excited for that, and stay tuned on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll let you guys know when it's available. As far as social media, we're still pushing hashtag DECA ICDC for the conference hashtag, and we really want you guys to start using it now. So if you're talking to your advisors or your fellow members about ICDC on Twitter, make sure you're using it so that we can not only see this conversation while we're at the conference, but before and leading up to it as well. Make sure you're following DECA on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. That's where we'll be pushing all of our ICDC news. And again, at ICDC, make sure that you tweet to us, Instagram, and tag us in it, and use that hashtag again so we can really see what everyone's up to at the conference. Lastly, the Live at Thrive applications were due at midnight last night, and I received 17 in total. So I'm really excited to start going through them and seeing who's going to be the best members for our team. Like we've said before, this Live at Thrive team is our first ever social media conference team. They're going to be doing really interesting assignments like behind the scenes production reporting or going around Anaheim interviewing different members. So we're really excited about that. I tweeted a photo of what we hope our command center will look like. So go to @JJScudderDECA, and you'll be able to see what we're hopefully going to model our own Live at Thrive Command Center after. So I think it'll be a really cool way to incorporate social media into everything we're doing at ICDC. Just a few more announcements. Make sure you guys join the officers in the Finish Line DECA-5K. If you go to our Facebook page, you can join our event. You can also show your support for the officer of your choice by downloading a photo or a cover photo and making it your own. And make sure that you wear the color that goes with your officer on the day of the event. It's not only a 5K, but there's also a 1-mile fun walk. There's a festival going on with live music, and we'll also be having Zumba and yoga classes. So it's definitely something cool. You guys should check it out. It's totally different and totally new, so we hope everyone's excited about that. We also want to introduce our opening session keynote speaker, Postnet CEO Steve Greenbaum. He guest starred on Undercover Boss and is receiving the DECA Entrepreneurial Spirit Award this year. So get ready for an amazing experience listening to him at the opening session. We also just announced today on our Facebook site that Rhythm Extreme will be performing at our opening session. So go to our Facebook page or check it out at decadirect.org, and you can read all about them and watch a video of their performance. We're really excited about this. I think it'll be a great way to start off the week. And lastly, make sure that you visit your national officers at the conference to get social media ribbons, and just make sure that you guys network and get to meet as many members as you can at the conference. So that's all for me.
Thanks, Janelle. It no doubt will be a great conference with all of our social media. We're really emphasizing what we can do in that realm at this year's conference. So please start tweeting us at hashtag DECA ICDC. I'd now like to introduce Sandy Tucker, our Assistant High School Division Director, to share with you a few things about what she's been working on for ICDC. Sandy?
All right, well, my focus is going to be to help some of the advisors, and for those of you students out there, work with your advisors on some of these tips and tricks. First of all, hopefully you all have started really getting organized and ready for your trip. You're putting together your paperwork, you've made your travel arrangements, you've gotten all your payments in. Those are kind of the administrative stuff. Advisors, I know, are working hard on those. One of the suggestions I have for advisors and for you students to stay connected is to put together what we call a communications card, where it has all of your chapter's attendees, their cell phone numbers, and how to get in touch with each other while you're there, because staying connected is the key, so that if plans change as you go, as many of you know, you can do mass texts and get the information out there. So that's just one of my tips that a lot of advisors have passed on that they're using, and it'll help you stay in the loop of everything. Make sure that you have your DECA blazers. I believe that DECA Images is taking orders up until tomorrow, and then they start packing for ICDC, so make sure that you've got that DECA blazer ordered. They will have them available on site for sale, so don't panic if you don't get the order in by tomorrow, but please contact DECA Images as soon as you can, today or tomorrow. Preparing on site, that's one of the things that's an advantage. Once you get there, my suggestion is you take advantage of the time that you're there early. If you are getting in a little early, walk the site, take your students, or students go with your advisor and go over to the convention center. Kind of check it out, see where your rooms are, see where you've got to be, because once you mentally know where you've got to go, you're really getting into that prepared mode, and you're going to get real excited about it. You're going to love being in that convention center. It's a beautiful place. So go over early, walk through, then start preparing while you're at your hotels. If you want to spend a little time at the convention center practicing, whatever it is you need to do, but start preparing on site when you get there, because that gets you mentally prepared for those judges. Let's see. Take advantage. This is for advisors. You're probably going to be assigned a duty. You want to take advantage of that duty. One of the things that I garnered from working at these events was what my students needed to do when they got in front of the registration, and then they got in front of the proctor and the judges. I learned so much as an advisor. I was able to pass that on to my students. So whatever duty you get as an advisor, relish that, learn from it, and take it back to your classroom. Each year I got assigned something a little different, and I learned something new every time I went, and I looked forward to it. So please don't look at it as work. Look at it as an opportunity to grow your chapter and help your students. The exhibits are there for you, for both students and advisors. Take advantage of visiting the exhibits. Not only are you going to get some cool stuff out of it, some goodies and really yummy Otis Spunkmeyer cookies. You don't want to miss that booth. That's a very popular one, so get there early. But go to the exhibit, start networking with those vendors. Over the years, I found a lot of really good vendors for my school-based enterprise. That's how I hooked up with Tropicana, and they were our vendor for 10 years and still are. Otis Spunkmeyer. The vendors that are there are very helpful, especially apparel, and also some of the colleges, some of our NAB partners. They're there to help you and help your chapters. So please go to the exhibits, connect with them, both students and advisors. And I would suggest you kind of bring a big bag, because you might walk away with some cool stuff. I always did, and trying to pack it was the challenge, but it's still fun. Some tips or tricks, these are just a few that when you get there, my suggestion is prior to getting there, if you have a larger group, or even if it's a small group, start thinking about your meals. I know it's a teenager's dream to always think about food. That's what we go for. With my students, they always want to know where they were going to eat, when they were going to eat, besides all the competition stuff. So we had planned out our visits to the restaurants. We actually contacted, in some cases, restaurants ahead of time, 2 to 3 weeks, and made reservations, and we were able to do that through a lot of the restaurants that are local. It kind of gave us a chance to map out where we were going to go, set our agenda, set our schedule, and then we knew what our evenings were going to look like, and sometimes what our afternoons were going to look like. And a lot of the restaurants will allow you to set up your meal, go ahead and prepay it, and then you just show up and you enjoy your dinner or your meal event, whatever that is. So if you can do that ahead of time, it's going to save you a little bit of stress. And if you plan it with your students, it's fun because they get to pick out some of the restaurants and places they're going to be. But keep in mind that downtown Disney is really crowded. There are a lot of restaurants around many of the hotels where you're staying. But downtown Disney can get very crowded at night, especially after some of the sessions. So just keep that in mind and plan ahead where you're going to eat if you can do that. Let's see. Oh, the attractions. I know many of you have already ordered your tour tickets, and if you haven't, that's okay. But make sure that if you are starting to look at your Disney tickets and the events you're going to do while you have some downtime, plan that with your students. Students, talk to your advisors about the things that you'd like to do. My students always got excited about choosing the events and the days and the times that they got to attend. So, and we always went to Disney when we did Anaheim and Florida. The last tip that I have is for those of you traveling with materials for written manuals or boards, bring a first aid kit for your boards. Chances are likely that when you put those boards on an airplane, the airlines aren't always as kind, even though you may write fragile all over the case. So what we did is we brought our boards somewhat dismantled. We didn't completely put them together. My students worked on putting together their kits so that when they got to ICDC, they could actually put their boards together there. They were able to bring glue. They were able to bring all the materials they needed to assemble the boards so that they didn't fall apart on the way there. But if you're already assembled, that's fine. Just bring an emergency kit for repairs. That's just some things that I've discovered over the years that was necessary. So again, we're here for you. If there's any suggestions that you'd like us to pass on, I certainly can do that for our new advisors. And we're really looking forward to seeing you all at ICDC. Let us know how we can help. Thanks for showing up today.
Cool. Thanks, Sandy. That's very helpful. And transitioning on that note, I'm going to introduce Dr. Michelle Walker, who has information for you about some activities that involve advisors, administrators, and other professional members. So, Michelle?
Hello. Chris and I are playing musical chairs today. I would like to tell you about two specific events. The first one is geared for administrators. It's designed for administrators. And we know that some of you will be bringing a principal or an assistant principal or counselor or perhaps a career and technology education administrator with you. Well, we have a special event just for them. It will enable them to network with other administrators, for one, but will also allow them to find out a bit more about the benefits of your association with DECA. It's called Administrator Day. It is basically by invitation, but I'll tell you what to do to get an invitation for your administrator to attend. It will be on Friday the 26th, and there are basically about 3 things you can expect them to walk away with at a minimum. One is they will become aware of the benefits of how DECA connects to the curriculum. In addition to everything you do, there is relationship. So that's one of the things they're evaluated on. And it will also show how it connects to all of the campus initiatives that they have. Another is they will be able to network with other administrators and find some unique ways to incorporate DECA even better. But we'll also give them a behind-the-scenes tour so that they can really see how the advisors work while you're at ICDC. We know you work really hard, and they will see the depth of what it's like for the students to be involved. And then we feed them too, so we think they'll like that. If you have an administrator that you're bringing and you think they would benefit from this, spending time with other administrators and finding out more about DECA, in your flash packet there is an administrator information form. Please complete that with the administrator's name and then return it to DECA. You can fax it. Or if you don't have that and you know that you have an administrator coming with you, you want to invite them, you can email Michelle Walker, Michelle_Walker at DECA.org with your principal's name, school, and email address, and we'll follow up and send them an official letter of invitation so that they can attend. So that's the first event. The second event will be on Saturday the 27th, and Many of you have received a letter, and some of you are still waiting on your letter, but we identify key accomplishments as it pertains to membership. You will be recognized in a leadership luncheon, so that is an invitation only, but if you are fortunate enough to receive a letter of invitation, please respond and come to this event. It's a cherished event. You never know what you may be able to bring back and share with your students, as well as your administrator, and have press releases. But we want to recognize you for your leadership, and that's why it's called Leadership Luncheon. I think those are the two things we need you to know about. If you have questions, you know you can call us or you can email me at michelle_walker@deca.org. Thanks. We look forward to seeing you in Anaheim.
Thanks, Michelle. We also, Michelle and Sandy, work close together to plan the New Advisor Academy, which is a great opportunity for advisors with 0 to 3 or 5 years of experience to learn from each other, as well as some experienced teachers. So Sandy, could you visit just briefly about that experience for their new advisors?
Sure. We're really excited with some of the workshops that we have. I know that Janelle's going to be working with us on one on how to integrate social media, specifically social media related to DECA, into the classroom. We've got presentations on managing your chapter, how to integrate the competitive events. And one of our advisors who've been, one of their favorite sessions was the Cool Ideas session. And those are roundtables where we bring in 18 to 20 advisors and speakers to talk about cool ideas that they're integrating. So this particular academy is 2 days. It's Thursday and Friday. But if you attend, and I encourage you, if you are a new advisor, to attend as many of the presentations as you can, but go ahead and get registered. You'll walk away with some really neat stuff, some good insights, some good information that's going to help you really grow your chapter, become a more in-the-loop type of advisor, where you actually will understand better how to integrate a lot of different things and really make it a valuable experience for your students and for yourself. We utilize the Be a Hero book that DECA has produced, so any of the new advisors, you did receive that this year or last year, the last couple of years. We'll be working a little bit with that as well, but I'm excited about some of the advisors that are coming and helping us with our presentations, and I think it's going to be a great academy. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do that as soon as you can.
Thanks, Sandy. I would also now like to turn it over to Shane Thomas, who is our Director of Competitive Events, because I know many of our students who are watching our Hangout are very interested to know what they can expect and that whole process. So Shane?
Thanks, Chris. I'm going to talk today as if I'm talking to the student audience, but it'll all be applicable to advisors as well. I want to give you information because this may be your first experience at an international career development conference, and you may not know what to expect if you're a competitor. So I jotted down a few notes and things I wanted to share with you that I think will help you at the conference. Generally speaking, there are between 11,000 and 12,000 competitors at the conference, and they're competing in 51 different events. So the way the numbers break down is, if you're in an individual series event, you're likely going to be competing against 180 or 190 other students from across the country that earned, honors at their state or provincial conference. But you're not really competing against 180 students at one time. We break everything down into what we call a section or a flight. So each event may have 9 or 10 sections. So if you've got 180 competitors and 10 sections, you're really only competing against 18 in your section during the preliminary round of competition. And in order to advance from preliminaries to finals, you have to be in the top 2 in your section. And that takes into account exam scores. If your event requires an exam, that will be factored into it. So it starts out as a really large number, but then it shrinks down into something that feels much more manageable. So really, you have to be competitive within your section to advance to the final round. And some other questions that I get are sort of, what's the flow of the event once I get to the conference? Wednesday the 24th, that's the opening session. So that evening, I want to say it's 8 or 8:30, that's our opening session. There's nothing really competitive going on that day. Thursday is when the competition really begins. That's when you will take your exam or hand in your written report that you've been working on this school year. So Thursday, we call them participant briefings. So that's the day you'll actually turn in your report or take your exam. Friday, the 26th, that's the preliminary competition day. So that's when you'll do your role plays or make your oral presentations to the judges for the first time. And then Saturday morning, at the second general session or the mini awards session, that's when you'll find out how you did on Friday and whether or not you are a finalist. And on Saturday morning, if you hear your name called and you are named a finalist, you're actually going to compete again on Saturday. So you'll deliver your presentation once more or participate in another role play or case study situation. So that's the general flow of the competitive events process. And I also wanted to share with you a few resources that we have available to help you prepare for this experience. You've worked hard all year, so I want you to make sure you take it the rest of the way and make the stage. DECA Images, that's a division of DECA that sells apparel and merchandise, but they also sell curriculum materials and sample role plays, sample exams that have been used in previous years. I would encourage you to get your hands on past exams so that you can see what the questions are going to look like and practice those exams, look over the keys so you understand why that answer was correct or why it was incorrect. Practice as much as you can. I think it really boils down to practice. Having the experience in front of multiple judges can only benefit you because you're going to get feedback from different points of view. They're going to throw out questions to you that maybe you haven't thought of before, and it helps you prepare for that unknown because that judge could throw out all sorts of questions to you. And the more practice you've had sort of answering things quickly and on your feet, the better you're going to be in Anaheim. Another great resource is decadirect.org. We have had social media correspondents that have been writing articles during this school year about how they prepare for competition or they prepare their students for competition. Read over them. There's great articles about participating in the written and prepared events. There's articles about the role-playing events, strategies and tips for excelling there. So please go to DECA Direct and read some of the articles. I think you'll be very, very pleased that you did. One of my other tips is make sure you're familiar with the performance indicators associated with your competitive event. So that can be found at the competitive events webpage, which is deca.org/competitions/high school. So next to your event, there should be a list of performance indicators. Make sure you review those so that you are prepared to talk about those topics, because anything that's listed on that performance indicator list could show up in an exam question, it could show up on a role play scenario or a case study scenario. So the more you prepare in advance, the better off you're going to be. So if this is your first experience at ICDC, I wish you much luck and success. I think you're going to find it to be a wonderful experience. So good luck, and we'll see you in Anaheim. I'm going to pass it back to Chris.
And hey, Chris, if you don't mind, can I add a couple more tips for the manuals?
Sure.
And for competition. With your manuals, if this is the first time that you've done them, make sure you know you have the opportunity to update your written report or your written manual before you leave for ICDC. If you want at your state or your association conference, you can update that. Make sure that you also include a statement of assurances in the front. Those can be found on our website, and your association advisors can guide you with that as well. and then make sure they're in the DECA folio. That's going to be real important. You bring those with you, and you register your manual. You will turn it in at the registration day, which I believe is on Thursday. So bring your manual with you. Don't mail it like some of you would do for your associations. Carry it with you. My students always carried theirs on the plane with them instead of in their luggage, so if their luggage got lost, they still had their manual and they could register it. The other thing is, if you are a competitor, you are required to wear a DECA blazer. So please, I'm going to reiterate that again. Make sure that you have a DECA blazer, or that you're ready to get one on site or to borrow one from somebody, but you're going to need that DECA blazer to go on stage. You do not need DECA blazers for any of the academies, but you will need it if you are a competitor, and I believe for school-based enterprise as well.
Yep. Thanks, Sandy, and thanks, Shane, for all of those tips and suggestions for competitive events. In addition to competitive events at the conference, we also have about 1,000 students who will participate in our leadership academies and institutes. So all of those are going to be very high energy, and we're looking forward to a great showing and helping prepare emerging leaders to grow our organization and continue to move forward. So I do encourage everyone to check out decadirect.org. We'll be posting all of the information as it pertains to ICDC on that one site. We've already started, and we're going to continue to use it until we get to ICDC. And then once we're there, there will be much, much more information posted on decadirect.org about the conference. So expect that whether you're at the conference or your parents or friends are at home, they're going to be able to see the conference from a new side this year. We're looking forward to hosting ICDC in Anaheim. Registration from our associations was due yesterday, and it looks like it's going to be a great conference, and we're very pleased that we're able to provide a great learning opportunity to so many students, and it's always exciting to see the advisors and the student interactions, and recognizing those DECA members who've done a great job over the past year learning their curriculum in our career areas. So by any means, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us. You can visit the DECA website for our contact information, or you can leave questions on our Facebook. You can tweet us, and we'll get you the answers as soon as we can. So we look forward to seeing everybody. Safe travels, and before you know it, we'll all be in Anaheim. Thank you, and have a great time preparing.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.